Evening, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. To all my existing students and additional students who have joined for writing skills. Let us wait for 5 minutes more. Let everyone join. We'll start then. Okay, let me give you introduction. Meanwhile, other students will join. So, what is this webinar is about? This webinar is about writing skills. I think it is a matter of concern for many students and many email writers and many young professionals. Why? Because when it comes to email writing, our tone is not very formal. When I talk about the expertise of writing, it includes a variety of things. Before I go ahead, let me tell you I have forwarded the material, the relevant material, to all the respective batches and to all the respective groups. Just peep into, please. Existing students and those who are not added to any of the groups, I think I have mentioned the comments, the material in description. Just have a look. All right. So I'll be reading the notes and we'll try to explain what writing skills are. The very first important thing is to know what writing skills are. Definition. Writing skills, if you see, writing skills require concentration not only on the topic a writer is going to write, but also each word a writer chooses. Most of us, now let's keep it very simple, let's keep it very cool, let's not be very formal. When it comes to writing skills, let me tell you a couple of things. The very first thing is you should plan your writing. If you are writing an email, any small, short email, if you are writing a long essay, a very lengthy essay, if you are writing any comment, any professional comment, every time, whether your writing is of 4 lines or your writing is of, I would say that 200 words or 300 words, every time word selection has to be very formal. Until you understand the art of word selection, your writing, your formal writing will never take place. When I talk about word selection, what do I mean? Now, let me explain that. We have happy tone, we have sad tone, we have formal tone, we are very disappointed, we have anger, and each emotion has to be told, right? I would say in black and white, in written. And you cannot be very formal, you cannot be very abusive, you cannot be very informal with your words. You need to go for right word selection. Basic words we all know. For an example, if I say that it's not I'm sorry, I apologize. It is not problem, it is inconvenience. These are very basic words. We know that in case you're writing an email to your manager, you're writing a letter, or any kind of writing you are doing. So you will not say that it is giving a lot of problem. You will always say it is giving a lot of inconvenience. These are very basic formal words. So you see, word by word, if you try to make your, like writing very formal, change certainly comes. Now, I would like you to read the next one, the next, title, Writing Skills Need. Writing skills need. Those who have just joined, let me tell you, I have forwarded the material to respective groups, to all existing students. And those who have just joined, you need to see description. I have added all the required notes there. All right, let's go ahead. So, writing skills need. What writing skills need? Ability to convey ideas with regard to distinct emotions, such as unhappy text, humor, detective, emotional text. It could be anything. A very small example I've added here, if you see, a very basic and repetitive line. I am very unhappy with your pathetic performance. Let's say that you're very unhappy. Your friend did not do anything well, or maybe that your manager is unhappy, or you're writing it, you're unhappy with your own country. Let's say that. It could be any line, right? You tend to write. In that case, you cannot say that economy of India is pathetic. If I'm writing an essay, let's say, or if I'm writing an email, I cannot say that performance is pathetic. I think that it is very informal. It is very informal. It is very rude. This word can be considered offensive. Now, formal and gentle writing. Now, if I want to comment, although integrity of India is undoubted, is undoubted, but the poor performance of economy cannot be neglected. Poor performance. What did I use? Poor performance. Poor performance, which means pathetic, or low performance. Low performance of India's economy. It could be anything. I can use the word low performance. I can say poor performance. I can say not up to the mark performance. I can use substandard performance, but I cannot use the word pathetic performance. This is very bad. And next time, whenever you're not happy, please try to use the word. I am very cool, very simple word. I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed. Students are very disappointed. Countries are very disappointed. You're writing an essay, you're writing an email. Anytime you are very unhappy, please try to use the word disappointed. Okay, let's go ahead. If I want to criticize somebody, I think that most of the time we have to write complaint letters, and we have to show our grudge that we are not happy and something like that. So let me give you a very simple example. I have mentioned in notes also. If you see the first one, a basic pattern of complaint. Can you see the title there? A basic pattern of complaint. Okay. So the basic one is, this email is to tell you. Is to tell you. This word doesn't make any sense. Tell, you're not telling anything. You're showing your grudge. You're showing your complaint. The word tell is incorrect here. So this email is to tell you that the product I bought is defective, and thanks to my staff who has not been attending me, I feel bad. The next wrong phrase is, I feel bad. He's not your friend that you're feeling bad. Why I bought this product from your showroom. I think that very informal style of writing that, I don't know why the hell I bought this product from your company, from your showroom. I feel bad is a wrong emotion. Now, let me tell you the correct one. I mentioned the correct one right below that. See, this email or this letter, you can say either email or letter. This email is in connection to show my resentment. You can note down this word somewhere or underline this here. Resentment. Resentment is a very formal word. I always say that all good writers must know this word. Now, for example, I bought a product, I bought anything, I bought any service, or I availed any service, I did not like it. So I would say that this email is in connection to. I will not say this email is to tell you. That's a wrong line. This email is in connection to, show my resentment. I'm repeating the word, show my resentment. Resentment means sadness, but in a formal tone, we always use the word resentment. So this email is in connection to show my resentment over the product I bought from your showroom. When I unboxed it, much to my surprise, you must underline. I told you in the beginning that word selection is everything. Something you were not expecting. Something you were not expecting. You were expecting it to be better. You were expecting it to be something like that, more pricey or less pricey. It depends on your emotion. Always use the phrase, much to my surprise. When you say much to my surprise, which means you did not expect that. Much to my surprise, it was not only defective, but also without bill. If you have noticed, I have used the collocation linking word not only but also. Not only but also. So whenever you are writing any letter, any formal essay, make sure that 5 connectors. I'll be talking about connectors later in a while, but 5 good connectors must be there. Your whole writing cannot be dependent on but and because. So I think that in my simple way, I could have written, I did not expect that. You people did not do well to me. I did not expect that. You cheated on me by sending me the wrong product. I think that it's not wrong. But is this the way? This doesn't fall under the formal category of writing. Yes. In that case, you will always say, much to my surprise, it was not only this, but also this. Not only, but also. We don't say also. Not only, but also means you want to say 2 things and you are saying it all together. For an example, you not only helped me, but also stood by me. And raw line, my kiddish line could be, you helped me also, but you stood by me also. I don't know. This doesn't make sense, I would say. So, not only, but also. We can go like that. So, try to use this, Google this phrase, not only, but also. And I think this can really change your way of writing. Now, let me tell you that what I have used. I have used three right expressions. First, I have used resentment. Resentment, right? I have resentment means I have regret. I have resentment to do this. So don't say I feel bad to do this. When you change the word, you change the style for sure. Okay, let's go ahead. Please do like the video in case notes are very clear to you. Okay, right. So let's go ahead. Whenever you want to say that, I don't know why you guys, sold me the wrong product and my whole family is complaining. That is how you guys do business. What is this, guys? You do business. I think that it's very rude. And soft skill training, we also provide soft skill training. So I always recommend that whenever any grudge you have, any problem you have, you're writing a complaint letter or maybe you're writing an essay, there is always a formal way to address, right? So when I say that my pain, right? I think you can read the line in the notes. My pain of buying the product went unbearable. Have you noticed the word unbearable? My pain of buying the product. I cannot use this line that I bought the product until today I'm regretting why the hell I bought it. You cannot say like that, in formal letters or in essay writing. You don't use these lines. In that case, you have to change your pattern of writing entirely, and you'll be writing something like that. My pain. Pain is the right word. Yes, I had a lot of trouble. It's fine, but I think if I have to give it a very formal tone, I'll say my pain of buying the product went unbearable when, despite several reminders, when, despite several reminders, I've used the connector despite. I could have said that many times I called, no one picked up the call, no one took action. Again, this is very informal. So I think I need to redo my line. I need to just replan my line. In that case, I'll be saying that despite several reminders, reminder is the right word. Despite several reminders, your staff did not pay heed. Your staff did not pay heed. Underline this word. You can write it anywhere. Pay heed. Pay heed means attention. In basic English, we always say attention, but I think in a more formal collocation, we use pay attention. So pay attention to my complaint, or you can say to my concern, or you can say to my grudge. So I wonder this least attention to your customer may affect the brand name you have built. The brand name you have built. That is the way to complain, right? You don't use very blunt words when it comes to business communication, when it comes to email writing, when it comes to letter writing, when it comes to essay writing. Have one thing in mind, that it is more about words. It is less about tough vocabulary. It is more about relevant vocabulary. Let me give you a very small example before we go ahead. Let's say you had food in so and so restaurant, and you said that the service or the food I had was good, the staff was also good, the place where I was sitting was also good. I think grammatically these three lines are fine. But if I have to go for business communication, formal writing, or formal speaking, I would say that I'll start with ambience, right? The ambience was very appealing. Appealing is the word, right? The service I availed. I'll be using the word avail. You can write it. The service I availed was appreciable. The service I availed, not the service I took. You don't take the service, you avail the service. So the service I availed. Okay. The next thing, if you check in your notes, difference. Now the heading is difference between formal and informal vocabulary. While writing, we should know that. I'll be starting with very basic words. Okay. Let's say bear up. Bear up is very easy word, right? And phrase, verb generally say that I can't bear up the pain. Oh, how you bore up the pain, right? You never complain, something like that. I think India is bearing up. You're writing an article or something like that. All people are bearing up. So you use this phrase bear up a lot, right? This is informal. When you write an article, you can replace the word and you can say that endure. Endure. Keep writing the words I'm using. I think let me go slow. I should give some time to note down, right? Endure. Instead of bear up, you can say endure. Let me again. The pain elderly people are enduring. The pain elderly people are enduring, right? Endure, right? In my exam, I endured a lot, means I bore up a lot, right? So never use bear up, you can use the word endure. Words, formal vocabulary makes a lot of difference to your writing and speaking. Okay, let's go ahead now. So the table you can see here, one side informal, the other side formal. Hmm. We faced a lot of problems. Informal. We faced a lot of problems. I've just told you, instead of problems, we can use the word inconvenience, right? Okay. Driving test is very inconvenient. In case you're writing an essay on driving license or something like that, it should be renewed or something like that. So never say problematic, always say inconvenient. It is very inconvenient, and as a noun it is very inconvenience. Inconvenient, right? Adjective. Inconvenience, noun. So the act, maybe that you're writing about theater, you're writing about art, and anything that people enjoy. It is not in the list here. I'll be adding more examples just to simplify things here. For example, you're writing on art, you're writing on theater, you're writing on music, right? You want to say that music gives a lot of fun. I think you're writing an article or something like that. I think that music, art, I can use some other words. Music and art nurture the mind. Write on this word, nurture. Music nurtures the mind. When I use the word nurture, Nurture, and S because it is singular. Music nurtures the mind. When I say music nurtures the mind, which means that it just soothes the mind and it improves and something like that. Yes. And music implies, I can use some other word, right? Imply is a beautiful word. Imply. And with singular, it will be implies. In the past, it will be implied. So when I want to say that music implies discipline, means music teaches you discipline. So instead of teach, instead of indicate, I can use the word imply, and my line has become very formal. That is how formal vocabulary is used, right? Yes, you're not using your regular words like take, make, go, want, and beautiful. You should know each word by word. If you change, I think the whole line will have a different meaning, and intensity of writing will certainly come. Reflect, in fact, I would say. Okay, so second example in the table. Coming back to the table, please. The act was not performed well. The act was not performed well. When I say the act was not performed well, perform is not a bad word here, but can I say, and bad, right? Can I use the word poorly? The act was poorly performed. Some teachers are poorly paid. When I want to say that in your country, do you think teachers are paid well? You may have an article to write on it, right? Yes. Unfortunately, teachers are poorly paid. Workers are poorly paid. I think I can use the word poorly instead of saying that they are badly paid. They are not paid well. The salary is very low, something like that. I think that poorly paid is a very formal collocation. Try to use it next time. You have the notes, right? And just go through after the class. The third one, we are looking for cheap hotels. I don't like this word cheap. Cheap is really cheap, kind of, no, right? So when you say that we are looking for cheap hotels, yeah, every time cheap has a different meaning, right? For an example, cheap could be affordable, cheap could be moderate, and cheap could be lewd, cheap could be substandard, cheap could be unexpected. You should understand that in which regard you are using the word cheap. For an example, here we are looking for cheap hotels. So you're not looking for cheap hotels. You are looking either for affordable hotels, or we are looking for moderately priced hotel. Moderately priced hotels. Moderately means okay. And please, in speaking and writing, don't say okay. The price was neither very much, the price was neither very low, it was okay. There is nothing like that okay. There is always moderate. How is weather outside? Weather is okay, okay today. We can go out. Weather is okay, okay. There is no phrase like okay, okay. And we always say that it's moderate. It's moderate. Are they really charging high? Oh no, I think that moderate amount. And let me tell you that in GKC also, right, we charge very moderately. The prices are very moderate, right? So moderate. You try to use this word. I love to add fun to teaching. I don't know. I can't be very serious while teaching. So, and second thing, please, it is not hotel. I think that this class is not for pronunciation, but I really want you to improve your basic vocabulary when it comes to hotels. Don't say hotel. This hotel was very nice. Please just, hotel, hotel, right? I know some students want me to go for translation Hindi English a little, but I'm so sorry. I have stringent disciplines when I teach. I think I'm an English teacher. I cannot teach from Hindi to English. And I can keep my English very easy. I can keep my English very moderate, very understandable. But I think, and this is a piece of advice to all my existing learners of GKC students, please never ask your teachers to explain you something in Hindi. Rather, build up your potential of learning from English to English. When you build up this potential, only then you are moving closer to effective communication. But this class is not for speaking, so let's work upon writing skills. Next in my list is very disappointed. Very disappointed. I asked you to use the word disappointed. Disappointed could be one set of emotion, right? But very, very, very good, very bad, something like that. Bitterly, right? She was crying very much. She was crying very much. She was bitterly crying. Can I use the word? She was bitterly crying. Yes, right. Our relationship is becoming very bitter. Bitter is like very bad, right? Bitterly means a lot. Bitterly. Okay. Next is I am sad about a lot of delay. I am sad about. Sad is absolutely good, but can we go for formal collocation? Can we say that I'm disappointed, I'm unhappy? But in case you're writing an informal letter, then unhappy is the right word. But when you're writing a formal letter, then you can't use. You can say that I am very disappointed with undue delay. Underline this word, please. Undue. Anything which exceeds its decency, and it has crossed its level of decency, it is always undue. Undue delay. I would say that undue late. You can say anything, right? And your behavior was very undue, and it could be unduly. Unduly means when you're using it as an adverb, right? Unduly written. Unduly written means that not nicely written. So unduly is that not good. Whenever you want to say that not good or you are exceeding decency, that is undue, right? Okay, this undue behavior, you can use undue behavior. This undue behavior may not be acceptable. Let's go ahead. Whenever you want to say, either in your letter, in your essay, in your email, I'm sorry I couldn't come yesterday, I so wanted to come but I couldn't come, I had some other works to do, something like that. In case you're writing, which is fine, but today we are talking about formal writing. In formal writing, there are certain words. If you see the formal table, I am unhappy with the undue delay. The next is I apologize for not making my presence. Make your presence. This is something you need to learn. Make your presence. I apologize. I couldn't make my presence. I couldn't make my presence means I couldn't come. But instead of saying I couldn't come, you can say I couldn't make my presence. Thank you for making your presence means thank you for coming. Thank you for making your presence. It's a very formal collocation. Okay. So making my presence as I'm tied up. I'm tied up with prior engagements. Underline this phrase, please. Prior engagements. When you say prior engagements, means you already had, like a lot of work to do. Yes. So I would say prior engagement. I was completely tied up, right? And prior engagement. Do you have any prior engagement? I can say a loose line also, right? Do you have any prior engagement? Oh, I apologize. I have some prior engagements. I won't be able to make my presence today. Prior engagement. If you know the words, you know how to use them gradually. I hope by now everything is very clear. Okay, let's go ahead. There is much to discuss today. Just give me a second. So we always have relevant and irrelevant vocabulary. Relevant and irrelevant vocabulary, what is the difference between the two? I never ask students to learn very heavy words. However, for an example, you are saying that something wrong happened, and you feel very bad about it. Every time you're using the word bad, inappropriate, you can say, I felt devastated. I felt devastated. When you use the word devastated, means that you were not in your senses and it blew your mind up completely. I felt devastated. Devastated, I would say that is a formal word, but somebody blew your mind up, that is very informal. And what is the difference between formal and informal? Sometimes we learn very heavy words, but we forget that, yeah, these words are very informal. You cannot use them in writing. For an example, that somebody was, I was checking one of the articles, and one of the students mentioned that if somebody hits me below the belt, I cannot pardon that person. I cannot forgive that person. Oh, I really felt it for a while that this could be very informal, and you cannot write that hit below the belt. You can't say hit below the belt. It has to be, if anyone goes unfair to me, if anyone goes unfair, unfair is okay, unreasonable is okay, brutal is also okay. If someone goes very harsh, if someone goes very brutal, it could be any word, but you can't say that if someone like hits me below the belt. I think that the vocabulary is good. I think it's a new phrase to learn, but when you're talking to your friend, but when you're writing an essay, no, 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 not suggested at all. Right. Okay. One more thing, let's say you're writing an article, and in every second line, third line, email, essay writing, anything, and you always say, I want to say. Don't say I want to say, I intend to mention. Many people intend to do, many people want to do, many people intend to do. India wants to do, India intends to do, intend. And if it is singular, then intends, right? India intends to do, or India intends to create a lot of employment in coming 10 years, something like that. We can say that, right? Yes. I would say intend. Intend means willing to do. Willing. And willing is a very formal word. Willing. I am willing to do. Children these days are not willing to do. And if you're not willing to, the other formal word is reluctant. Children are reluctant to do that. Sometimes you don't want to do. Don't want is reluctant. Please write down. Reluctant. 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 Children are reluctant to participate. Means children don't want to. And want to, for want, we have two words. One is willing, the other is intend. Children intend to do. Children are willing to do. I am willing to do. And in case that, many learners willing to do, right? They are, but we need to apply are before that. Learners are willing to do. Since mentioning vocabulary, formal vocabulary, I think that let me add something more to that. I have this problem with the word people. People has to be taken care of. How it should be taken care of? Let me explain. If you want to say people these days need to be careful while buying things, or while getting influenced by promotion, something like that. So people, those who buy things, are buyers, then in that case I will say that buyers should do that. I will not use the word people, I will use the word buyers. For an example, I am talking about people these days like to watch, or like to be a part of uh, art movies, like to be a part of art movies. No, they don't want to be a part of commercial movies, right? In that case, I will not use the word people, because here I am talking about audience or viewers. Audience or viewers. So I'll say viewers these days are willing to be a part of art movies. This makes sense. Every time it is not people. While writing, take care. Which noun are you talking about? Which noun? It's not always people. Those who cross the road, they are pedestrians. They are not people. People, those who go to college, they are college goers. They are not people. People, those who go to school, they are not people. They are either ardent learners, ardent learners, ARDENT, ardent, and then learners. Ardent learners are willing to be a part of vocational study, something like that. College goers. College goers are very particular about this or that. So it's not people, again, college goers. If you change your subject, if you change your noun while writing and speaking, you will feel a lot of difference. Okay. Sellers, buyers, right? Yes. Okay. And those who love to go to gym, they are gym freaks. Or but freak cannot be used. Freak is very informal. You have to use formal word. In that case, you will say gym enthusiast. Gym enthusiast, right? So and people, those who walk, are walkers, isn't it? Right. Make sure that you use the right word. Okay. Let's go ahead. Where I was, prior engagement. This is what we finished, right? Now let's go for the next heading we have, vocabulary enhancement. When I say vocabulary enhancement, means sometimes it's not about just to replace the particular word. It is about reframing the entire line, reframing and giving it a more formal outlook. There are some examples mentioned here. Let's read them one by one and let's add something more to it. First one, I told your manager. Not the right expression. You don't told your manager, you reported. I reported your manager, or I reported my manager. I reported my seniors. I reported to my teacher, right? It is. Sometimes we use to, sometimes we don't use to, but this is not grammar class, so I will not be discussing grammar. Second, I'll be happy if you look into the matter. I will really appreciate, not happy. In case you are writing formally, then don't use the word happy, use the word appreciate. I will appreciate if you do that. It is quite appreciable. It is quite appreciable. Okay, next is, I would like to tell you the problem. Tell is not the right word. When you want to highlight the problem, then say highlight the problem only. You cannot say I would like to tell you the problem. Tell is just, you're just passing the problem. But if you want the other person to notify, to address, so you can say that, address the problem, or I would like to address the problem, I would like to highlight the problem, but don't say I would like to tell the problem. Next is, kindly take action on this. Kindly take, sometimes you say kindly take right action on it. Right word grammatically is fine, and I think in our day-to-day communication we use this word. However, in writing, try to say adequate. Adequate, it is mentioned here. If you see, we would be thankful if you could take adequate action, not right action, adequate. And if it is not right, inadequate. If it is sufficient, then also adequate, right? Yes, we have inadequate resources, means not sufficient resources. But you can't say that we have some resources, we don't have other resources. You have two words, adequate or inadequate. I think this example I've already shared with you. The fifth one, we are looking for cheap hotels. No, you're not looking for cheap hotels. You're looking for moderately priced hotels. Sixth one, I had your service when I came for my last visit and I liked it. I told you I availed the service. You did not had the service. I availed, and please underline this. When you underline, which means that you give signal to your mind that you are willing to learn these words. Words are everywhere. It's just that you should, words should strike you. You should really feel like, you know what? Who is the best speaker? Who is the best writer? Who is willing to speak? Who enjoys speaking? Who enjoys writing? Many a time students come to me and they say, ma'am, I want to be a good writer. I fail to do so. Why? Because I give my 100%. But if you don't enjoy your own writing, if you really feel writing as a burden, you don't feel like weaving lines, and you don't feel like being in the sea of thoughtfulness, and you're thinking a variety of lines and metaphor, personification. For an example, that if I say that if I want to say any casual line, for an example, that our life is not going well. And maybe if I give you a task that rewrite this line in more creative way, more professional way, something like that, life is not going well. So how would I say that? How would I say? Try think for a minute that life is not going well. Allow your mind to think. When you allow your mind is a very powerful thing, right? If you allow, it thinks my life is not going good. Can I say my life is like stagnant water? Stagnant water. When you say stagnant water doesn't move, your life is also not moving. You see, you have the ability of reframing lines, you have the ability of rewriting, provided that you try to rewrite it. You are not in a jiffy, you're not in a hurry to write. You plan, you give time to your writing, that how this particular line can be rewritten. And if you just take this accountability, this responsibility, writing becomes beautiful. Okay, anyways, coming back to the notes we have. So I availed the service, not I had the service. I availed the service of your hotel during my last visit. And let me tell you that it is not during, and we generally pronounce it as during. But if you ask me, the pronunciation is during. During. J sound. So let me say that. I availed the service of your hotel during my last visit. During. So we never say this Hindi sound during, during. Okay. Seventh one. I want to tell you. What is you want to tell you? Either you want to highlight, or don't use the word even want, right? I am willing to highlight the point. I am willing to highlight the point. Don't say I want to. So I am writing to appreciate. You don't want to tell. You have a purpose to write. So you have a purpose to write. When you have a purpose to write, the beginning should be very formal. I am writing to appreciate the dinner my family and I had last night at your restaurant. This makes sense. I am writing to appreciate. You don't want to tell food was good. Raw line is I want to tell you that the food I had was very good. I think it's a very raw line. It's a very raw line. The formal line would be I'm writing to appreciate the dinner my family and I had last night, or you can say relished. You relish the food. You can just use the word relish also. But I never wanted to make it very tough for you today. It's just that take small efforts. Don't try to. Nobody becomes a good writer overnight. It takes time. First, try to replace basic words. The way you have five words in order to place good. How? And good is not always good. Good has variety of other adjectives. For an example, that if the service was good, how would you say that the service was hospitable? Hospitable, right? Yes, service is generally hospitable, right? And the way you treated me when I came to your place was very nice, was very good. In that case, you can say that I appreciate your hospitality. I appreciate your hospitality. Hospitality is the right word. It's not that the way you treated me. I think we need to just change the pattern of writing, and every good, right, has some filling. Instead of good, you can use the appropriate word. Think about it. Okay, coming back to notes. Eighth, the staff was very good. The staff was very hospitable. Oh, I just told you that. And the service given by the waiter Deepa was highly appreciated. That's correct. Okay. Thank you for this wonderful service. Thank you for this wonderful service. Maybe help. Maybe help. It's not about restaurant all the time. Maybe that your junior did something good for you and you're writing an email to your junior, or maybe any essay. I don't know. The writing is very vast, is very wide, and you need to create space for writing. It This can be used anywhere. But all I will say is thank you for this wonderful service. Thank you for this help or something like that. In that case, the warmth and friendliness experience at your hotel, the warmth and friendliness, the warmth and friendliness in your help, in your help, you can say that experienced in your help, right? Yes, made my evening. You can say something like that if you don't want to write it. But if it is about restaurant, then you have to write like that. The warmth and friendliness experience at your restaurant has made it a favorite place. Isn't it beautiful? I think most of us, we don't get lectures on writing. We learn English very subjectively. Subjectively means you just have burden of learning answers and doing grammar. We never give time to ourselves where we sit and we enjoy writing, and we just relish each line we begin to write. I always say that. And you know what? Let me tell you, if you find me a good writer, I don't know whether am I a good writer or not, but if you find me a good writer, and if you really want to know that how I learned this art, I really feel that each word I learn, it not only teaches me a word, it provides me, but also it provides me knowledge. Let's say if I'm reading one word, integrity, integrity, which means oneness, and I say that that integrity, like cultural integrity, culture or rather cultural integrity. When I learn this, I would come to know about culture also. Like, until I know where to use this word, I think my learning of this word is particularly, like, it is of no avail. It means I will be learning about culture. When I know any word repercussions, I will try to know that what repercussions are, and in how many circumstances we may have to see repercussions. The meaning of repercussions, generally we pronounce it as repercussions, but let's say repercussions, right? So it is means, it means consequences, consequences, results, right? So you see, each word gives you knowledge. Each word, 360 degree introspection. I learned this word when I was working as a team leader way back. And so 360 degree, right, introspection. This whole phrase taught me a lot, which means that you need to try holistic approach of everything. And each word teaches and gives you knowledge. If you learn vocabulary this way, only then you will be able to use these words, right, in your writing. Otherwise you will have a bunch of papers right, and mind will be empty. You have nothing to write, and you will be back to square one. When I say back to square one, means that from where you started you will feel no difference, and you will see classes were of no avail. Why? Because we don't enjoy, we don't feel like that whatever we have learned, let me see how creatively I can use this particular word. I told you the word devastated, right, which means very bad, right? For an example, I can use it. I can use it for my own mood. Don't talk to me, I feel devastated. Don't talk to me, I feel devastated. Yes, right. And maybe I can use it, in some other ways. For an example, that devastating effects of social media, devastating effects of social media cannot be overlooked. Cannot be overlooked. Here, devastating means harmful. Devastating means harmful. So you see, any word could be very creative. Sink. I always give this example, and I so love. I learned it, from experts, and I would say sink. Okay, for an example, that a coin is sinking, which is fine, right? Sink, we understand that. The ship is sinking. Very clear example. But how can I use this word creatively? Sink. My career is sinking, right? Your knowledge is sinking. Our love is sinking. In that case, I think that sink is really a good word, right? Yes, very creatively you have used this word. And I think that when I know the meaning of the word, when I have felt the word, I can use it professionally, creatively, personally, formally, informally. Isn't it? All right, fine then. Give me a second. All right. So let's go ahead. We have the next table, basic vocabulary versus formal vocabulary. I told you the word bear up, endure. Make a sentence, create a sentence in your mind, please. Yes, right. Bear up, endure, right? Children feel they're enduring a lot. They don't know parents are also enduring a lot, right? Yes, bear up, bear up. I can't endure much. I can't endure this pain anymore. Don't say bear up, endure. Next is now help. Instead of help, this I keep telling in class also. Don't say help, always say facilitate. Facilitate. Okay, for an example, that hospitals facilitate. Hospitals plural, so facilitate, right? Yes. I think education system today facilitated has facilitated means has facilitated many organizations. So facilitate instead of help, facilitate. Next is limit. Limit is not a bad word, but today we are talking about formal vocabulary. In that case, restrict, make a line, right? Sometimes I would say you restrict yourself. Don't say limit, you restrict yourself. Resources are restricted. Resources are restricted. Don't say resources are in limit. In limit is very informal, but when you use the word restrict, it is very formal. Next is remove. Instead of remove, you can use the word abolish, eradicate, root out, vanish, but knowing the contextual meaning of that, and mitigate also. Let me give you some examples of it. For an example, that if you listen to music, it will remove your tension. If you listen to music, it will remove your tension. Remove is not a bad word, I would say, but it is very informal. Very informal. In that case, you should say that if you listen, and I think in good writing, I will not be starting with if. I will straight away say listening to good music. I will not start my line like this. If you listen to you, I will avoid. In any formal writing, this excessive you is avoided. If you listening to good music, you is understood that the person you're talking to. So avoid writing you a lot, or avoid speaking you a lot. In that case, you can say listening to good music may mitigate your pain. I'll be using the word mitigate. It's not remove your pain, I want to say reduce your pain. In that case, I'll say that mitigate your pain. mitigate, mitigate your pain. Okay. Abolish, let's say dowry system. You, in case you're talking about social evils, in that case you have to say abolish. Abolish. Now for an example, crimes should be abolished. We shouldn't say crime should be reduced from civilized societies. I cannot say that. Should be abolished. Abolish is the right expression. You want to say root out, completely root out. Yes, my name was removed from the list. Eradicate. Eradicate is the right word. So every time you should know how to use the word remove. But please, let's say, you know what you need to do that? You need to do proofreading. Any writer who fails to do proofreading fails to improve also. Let me give you a reason. Let's say you have written a small essay, right, of 10 lines or of 20 lines, right? What you need to do that? You need to first check your regular pattern. Your regular pattern, that how many words you often use, and you repetitively use, right? You use in every second line, you use in every third line. Let's say if you ask me how many words I get to see: help, take, remove. I'm very interested in that. This book is very interesting. These are commonly used words. These are commonly used words. Until I know my commonly used words, I will not be able to replace them. So first is you need to have a critical eye to check that how many words you often use, and which makes your writing very bland, very tedious. Then try to replace these words. Let's say I am done with my writing. I've completed my 20 lines, and I read my own essay, I read my own email, and I figured it out that I have written a line that I'm feeling very bad that I disturbed you. I think I am feeling very bad, right? Yes, I regret it. I think feeling bad, I will replace this word. Let's say I'm writing an essay and I write something like that. Criminals should be, criminals should be put behind the bars. And then I understood that should be punished, right? Should be punished. I think punish word I've used 3-4 times. I think I can replace this word. So you need to figure it out. Maybe should be put behind the bars, or should be given sentence. Sentence is a very beautiful formal word. That should be given sentence. Should be given sentence. It could be life imprisonment or life sentence. But sentence is a very good word. Instead of punishment, you can use this word, right? Yes. And put behind the bars, you can just erase and you can write the word detain. right? Criminals should be detained. Criminals should be detained. So that is how I need to notice how many words I commonly use and then try to replace them. Until you know your problem, you don't know how to resolve it. Okay, let's go ahead. Anger, I'm done with. No, no, no. I am still left to discuss this word. Anger. Instead of anger, you can say agitation. Agitation, right? Youth. There is a lot of agitation. There is a lot of agitation in youth. There is a lot of anger, right? Yes. Children, no, children have a lot of agitation when parents do not listen to them. Agitation. Don't use the word anger, right? This time, please try to replace all the words. Want to, I've already explained that instead of want you can use urge or you can use aim to, right? Many people want to do that, many people aim to do that, many people are willing to do that, many people urge to do that. Yes, buyers urge to avail discount. Formal line. Buyers urge to, urge, I did not use the word want. Buyers urge or buyers aim. Buyers urge to avail discount, not get discount. And get, yeah, since I mentioned this word, let me tell you, we use get word also a lot in our email, in our essays. Please, the formal replacement would be receive. Receive, right? Receive appreciation, not get appreciation. Yes, and not get discount, avail discount. So every time it is not get, it could be receive, it could be avail. Yes, it could be attain also. For an example, that we should know how to get our goal. We should know how to get our goal. I can say we should know how to attain our goal. How to attain our goal. Okay. Next is ignore. Please don't use the word ignore and try to use the word escape. You may ask me a question, ma'am. How escape? How ignore and escape? Have the same meaning. But let me tell you, you cannot ignore your responsibility. You cannot escape your responsibility. Right? Yes. And I think that lately I have ignored all the responsibilities. Lately I have escaped all my responsibilities, right? Escape tension, ignore tension. Yeah, if you have tension, ignore it, right? Escape it. You see, you can go formal if you want. Next is way. Very basic repetitive word, I would say. Way, don't say way. Gateway, right? Yes. Patience is a gateway to success. Patience is a gateway to success, right? Not way to success. Gateway is the door. Yes. Search. Don't use the word search. Use the word pursuit. Pursuit, right? In search of. In pursuit of money. In pursuit of money. Criminals commit a lot of crimes. Pursuit of. What are you searching for? I am in pursuit of peace. In pursuit of good jobs. In pursuit of good jobs. Don't say that in people, youngsters are looking for good jobs. Looking for. You can just replace this whole collocation. You can say that in pursuit of appropriate opportunities, youngsters spend a lot of money on education. In pursuit of. Okay, let's go ahead. Cheap, I already told you. Shallow is the other word. You can say that, right? Yes. So don't think shallow. Shallow thinking. Cheap thinking, shallow thinking. Cheap comment, very shallow comment. Your comment was very shallow. I don't appreciate it. Very formal. Okay. Lack. Don't use the word lack, use the word paucity. Lack of, right? Shortage of water, paucity of water. Shortage of talent, paucity of talent. Lack of intelligence, paucity, right? And I think that lack of money, paucity of money. And since we're discussing it, let me tell you that a person who doesn't have money at all is called pauper. Pauper. Pauper, right? And if you are an extravagant person, let me tell you that soon you will be pauper. And I always give a piece of advice to all youngsters. If you don't want to be pauper, please don't come in trap of displaying your wealth to everybody. Keep it as a secret. Yeah, don't reveal your achievements to everybody. Okay. Beneficial, instead of beneficial, you can use the word gainful. Gainful. The last phase of our webinar, let's talk about linking words. I can't miss discussing them for sure. Essay writing, email writing, any formal writing is incomplete without using linking words. You cram them today, you learn them today, you make sentences, but please learn these linking words. Despite, don't use even then in your essay, even then in your email. Always say despite. I've mentioned an example. For an example, you want to say that uh, I did everything. Even then, you did not listen to me. Despite doing everything, you did not listen to me. Despite doing. After despite, we don't use any subject. We straight away use verb and ing. Despite doing this, despite doing that, despite ignoring the real matter, despite working upon financials, we couldn't make it despite working upon financials. I hope you're getting my point, right? Don't say even then, or even after that. Example, please look at the example mentioned here. Despite your regular efforts, he turned down our business proposal, right? Despite having a lot of talent, unemployment in India is on its peak as appropriate funding is missing. I think international funding is missing. Yes, right. Or maybe the wrong planning, owing to wrong planning. Next is since. Stop using the word because, use the word since. Since I'm in hurry, I'll talk to you later. Since weather is not good, we shouldn't go out. Since you did not mention your concern, I will not be able to help you. There are sentences, don't say because you did not tell me, because weather is not good. Instead of because, you can use since. Example is mentioned here. Since life is changing rapidly, means quickly. Since life is changing rapidly, AI has become inevitable. AI has become inevitable. Note down this word also here, please. Inevitable. Inevitable means necessary. Whenever you want to say necessary, your presence is necessary. Your presence is inevitable. You can use the word inevitable. Okay. Albeit. The next one, how to pronounce that? Albeit. Albeit. Albeit means everything went all good, but one thing went wrong. One thing is opposite, right? Yes. For an example, that I think that yes, you attained all your goals, albeit slow. You attain all your goals, although slow. So in that case, we use albeit, albeit, and sometimes we say albeit. Both are okay. Okay. So besides work, kindly take care of your health also. This is not only but also. Fourth one is having said that. Having said that. Oh, in the list it is fifth one. Okay, please. So having said that, where to use this? Whenever you want to say all I want to say, all I want to say, don't use this collocation all I want to say. Always say having said that. Having said that means after. After saying that, after checking my bag. Simple sentence. After checking my bag. Having checked my bag. Having third form. After realizing that I was wrong, after realizing that children are wrong, having realized. Example, please. Having set my point, I would take your leave. Yes, having set my first point, first pivotal point, I would like to bolster the fact. Bolster, please note down this word also, bolster, bolster. I would like to bolster the fact. Bolster means I would like to add more. When you want to add more, you always say bolster. I bolster the idea. I bolster the fact. Okay. Although, the last one, although, please add although, since, albeit. Having said that, not only but also, these are advanced connectors. These advanced connectors have potential to change the face of your writing to a great extent, I would say. So although AI, look at the example, although AI has become a big threat globally, comma, can you see this comma? Although AI has become a big threat globally, comma, it is powerless to replace humans. I don't use but in between. You don't use but in between. When you start any sentence with although, there is a comma. Comma means but. So although means that though, an opposite statement will be said after the comma. Let me give you more examples, right? Although Give me a second. Let me think of a good example. Yes. Although industries are minting money, comma, they give least attention to the environmental issues. They give least attention to the environmental issues, threats, and then concerns, right? But they did not give. This comma means, but they did not give. I could have said this line in a raw manner, like, oh, I think companies are gaining success commercially, but they are not taking care of environment. This is wrong. If I want to make this line formal, I'll be starting my line with although. Although big companies, although big industries are gaining commercial success, comma, they are paying least attention to environmental damage. This is formal. This is formal. From informal to formal, there are three needs. First, change words. Do change and do, I would say, start using formal words. Second, give time. Frame your line. Frame each line you write. Third, I would say linking words. I've duly mentioned them. Without formal linking words, writing will never be formal. It will always be informal. A kid who is in grade 5 will always say that I went there, but they did not treat me well, and I felt very bad. This is very wrong, right? Yes. Although I went there with love and affection, comma, I was not treated well. Yes. Having said that, I mean I was insulted. This is formal. Anyone who wants to speak formally will always try to use linking words. And if you like the webinar, I think subscribe, like, and anything you would like to write in appreciation. Thank you very much. Have a great evening ahead, everyone.